A spirit of stragology hovers like a cloud. Fuck you mean? What's happened? They're in the danger zone. Or even worse, they're in no man's land. They're in the danger zone. 27 to 35 or no man's land. 36 to 60. And they're stuck. They're up too high. They're up too high in their career. They've gone too far and they can't go back. And the sign is telling the truth. There are no men on this floor. You don't have the primary relationship. A man, the first business, your first network is family. You don't have it. You have shit. You have stuff. You have bags and purses and coats and trips and dogs and plants and candles and fragrance and shoes and shit. Where are you going to get the men from to marry and make these families, to build this generational wealth, to fulfill your thing? Single till you die. That's really what it's going to look like for. It don't matter if you got your hair done, nails done, everything done. Yeah, if you still walking around acting like a stray you are.
All these German shepherds. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
If you want to crown them, then crown their ass.
Now, what we have here today is a class Friday, right? We got ourselves a class. Now, players, understand something. When we say destruction of the black community, that's what we say. Why, Prince? It's based on the box. But when you think about all the majority of the black babies that's being created, born after 35, lower genetics, more cause of autism and slow babies and all this other stuff, IVF, self-insemination, procedures, all of these different types of having a baby that the black woman goes through, these are going to be the next 30 years of quote unquote black children. In today's class, I want to give you an example of what our black babies will be like. How do you find that out, Prince? Through the mother. Okay.
Doing this, figuring this out, because I was old. Okay. Geriatric. I was 35 when I had my son, right?
Me too. I was 34.
The most prepared.
I was 35 when I had my son. Me too, girl. I was 34. Damn. You got a twofold here. One is they are limited to one baby. Two is they 9 times out of 10 are born, they're birthing unhealthy children. Now, when you have a baby at 35, it's not normally likely that you did it when you was married. It's unlikely, not saying impossible, very unlikely. So let's get into this.
Like, how the hell?
Those babies.
How the hell were you 16 years old doing this? Figuring this out, because I was old. Okay, geriatric. I was 35 when I had my son, right?
Me too. I was 34.
What do I teach you guys? They will give you any kind of baby. No, they won't give you the healthy one that was 20-something. They'll give you any kind of baby that's 30-something. You guys better start paying attention. You niggas are contributing to our babies being wacko and autistic.
The most prepared that I could have possibly been, financially, mentally, married, had a partner, all of the things that you think that you need to become a mother. And I still don't, not even didn't. I still every day I'm just like, you still here. You know, like, you still here. I'm responsible for you. What are you going to eat today? You know, like all of the things every single day.
And it all falls back really on the mama. At the end of the day.
2 married women. Look, telling y'all the truth. Okay, ain't nobody.
Let's get to the way that they had them.
Things There's things that happen every single day that my husband has no idea. Like, how, he gonna be mad at me. Don't be mad. With that struggle, you know, it's just
like, oh well, don't worry about it. Then I just won't.
almost took him back in the house. I was almost like, you gonna miss.
And I was one of those ones where I was like, I'm gonna have a doula. I had a doula. I'm gonna do nuts.
It's a lie, and we ain't got the answer. So I'm not even about to try to get y'all know. One thing my husband does, he like whatever you got to do, he does that. And I came out one day and it wasn't done, and he was already at work. And I almost took him back in the house. I was almost like, you gonna miss school today because I don't do this. And I called him and he was walking me, you know, we on FaceTime, he walking me through what to do. And then after I figured it out, he's like, can you imagine being a single mother? I'm like, hell no.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. And we ain't got the answer. So I'm not even about to try to give y'all no advice, because if you're not a mom yet though, I'm sorry if I killed your dreams, but I'm not
They
really
need
sorry.
to know, because
Right.
the girls are not telling
They're
them.
not telling you.
Y'all are not hard. And
It
I
is
was
hard.
one of those, girl, I got on the table and got a C-section. Okay.
They're not telling you.
Y'all are not being honest. We need a mom support group.
We
like
do.
it's not,
Yeah.
it's just, it
That's-
is what
it's
it
a
is, girl.
thing.
It's hard. And
It
I
is
was one
hard.
of those ones where I was like, I'm gonna have a doula. I had a doula. I'm gonna do natural. I'm gonna be in the water. I'm, you know.
Did you get in the water?
Girl, I got on the table and got a C-section. Okay.
I still have PTSD. I haven't
Me
told
too.
my story, but I definitely had a doula. I definitely had a midwife. I definitely had the tub blown up in the room, and I did not get my ass in that tub. I ended up on the table as well. That's a whole other conversation. Again, that requires a support group, a therapist, some wine.
So there you have it. Not only are they not mothers, they're scared to give birth. They're willing to be drugged up over everything. They're 35. And they have to adjust to trying to be being a mother. Being a mother is not built in her. She lived all that shit out. Let's go.
I could drink again. Like all of the things, because there are so many things that goes into bringing these babies into the world that I feel like nobody talks about. You know, people talk about morning sickness. You know, they talk about such. There's no turning back. You know, like
you know, and it took us a while to get pregnant. We had to go through like fertility treatments.
Really?
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, guys.
No turning back. You know, like
we here now.
We here now. The baby's coming.
And I'm like, oh, I wanted to be here so bad. You just think it's gonna be like, I got my cute little baby, you know. And it took us a while to get pregnant. We had to go through like fertility treatments.
Really?
Yeah.
Can we talk about that?
Yeah.
I have questions.
Yeah, we did IVF.
Wow.
There you have it. One woman's pussy works fine. The other woman's pussy don't. Now we're talking.
I wanted to be here so bad. You just think it's gonna be like, I got my cute little baby, you know. And it took us a while to get pregnant. We had to go through like fertility treatments.
Really?
Yeah.
Can we talk about that?
Yeah.
I have questions.
Yeah, we did IVF.
Wow. Were you scared you was gonna have like quadruplets? Because that's a thing, right? Multiple?
That's a thing. Sometimes, I guess, if you kind of do it like incorrectly, or you're having sex when you're doing the injections, because you're not supposed to be doing any of that. But I actually, like, before I had this one, I was
you wanted to?
Yeah, I wanted twins. I wanted twins. I don't now.
No. You're not about to laugh. I mean, has twins. He kept shaking his head.
Yeah. I just take one at a time. God, give me one more. I still got 1 tube, but I might have a low egg reserve.
Okay, wait. Pause.
I still got 1 tube, but I got a low egg reserve. Talk, sister. Why can't she talk like that? Because she has the man already. See? So when you hear black women talk about men not being good, men not being this, men not being that, that's a goddamn lie. This woman, she's basically telling you she got 1 tube and a low egg reserve.
Twins. I don't now.
No. You're not about to laugh. I mean, has twins. He kept shaking his head.
Yeah. I just take one at a time. God, give me one more. I still got 1 tube, but I might have a low egg reserve.
Okay, wait. Pause. So tell us about the process, because again, this is one of those things that I feel like so many things you don't know until you have to do it yourself. So what made you do it? First, like what made you?
No, that's not right. That happens when you are too old and then your box ain't right. See, these women always talk like they are stone pillars of wholesomeness. Shit is crazy.
Say, okay, was it just that y'all were trying and you weren't getting pregnant, or like what was the pre-IVF?
Well, we tried, and then I did get pregnant, but then it ended up being in my tube.
Okay.
So I had to get one of my tubes removed.
Talk that talk, sister. What does the Pussycat Facts tell you? Have you had any deletions and or miscarriages? Listen, fellas, this is what black women are putting black men through. Successful, good black men. But nobody's here to tell his story. This bitch out here telling some success story. That man went through a whole damn miscarriage with you. Let's go.
Okay. Was it just that y'all were trying and you weren't getting pregnant, or like what was the pre?
It wasn't that y'all were just trying and you wasn't getting pregnant, that your pussy wasn't shit.
IVF.
Well, we tried, and then I did get pregnant, but then it ended up being in my tube.
Okay.
So I had,
ma'am, it's called a miscarriage. You can't carry. Your box can't carry. We not doing that.
Yes.
Well, we tried, and then I did get pregnant, but then it ended up being in my tube. So I had to get one of my tubes removed.
Okay.
And so, thank you. And so after that, I went to a fertility doctor to try to see like what was going on, if I could really, because you can still get pregnant with one tube, but then going through that process, I found out I had a low egg reserve.
Seems like we saw this video before.
How do you find that out? Like they do a procedure?
Yeah, they do a bunch of tests. So when you first go to the
ma'am, you find that out because she trapped the man, right? Let me tell you how she found that out, because I don't got my class here just yet. She trapped the man, right? And then he would thought that he had a good woman with a good pussy because she presented wholesome, right? So now the man's trying to get the bitch pregnant, right? And now she can't have a baby for the man, but she knew she couldn't. She waited till she trapped him. Now he's all in. He doesn't want to see anything happen to her. Guess what she did? She said, look, I'm going to have this baby for you. So she got pregnant. The shit got trapped in the tube and had a miscarriage. So he's in pain from the miscarriage, but also he has to be worried about this woman's life because her pussy was fucked up. Had he had the opportunity to pick a better pussy, he would have. Now she got to get this thing surgically removed. And she said, look, man, you've been everything for me. I want to have a child for you. To come with me to the doctors and let the doctors tell you I can still have your baby. Ma'am, how old are you? I'm 30 something. And that's how she found out. Let's carry on.
Fertility doctor, they test everything. They test the one tube you have. They test your egg reserve. They test everything. And so when I went through that, so like it's a chance, but it's not a good chance. So we went full steam with the IVF.
And that's 1,000 needles.
Once she took him to the doctor said, that one tube ain't no good. Your box is dead. So then she went to IVF. What is the point of the IVF? That she can still, I guess, be with child, but then she went and had a C-section to prove her box cannot push through. So what is her box good for? For fucking? Or is it really? Is she in discomfort? Does she bleed often when you having sex with her? What is all the bad things that man got trapped with because he cares about her life more than her only barely bearing one child pussy?
At one point, I think I was doing like maybe 6 shots a day, because you're doing like 2 or 3 in the morning, 3 in the evening, and then you do that for like maybe 2 weeks to get as many eggs as possible. Then you do the surgery to take the eggs out and put it with the sperm to make the embryo.
So what does the man have to do in this? Ejaculate in a cup or something?
Yeah.
Now, you see how she's looking? She's looking towards the camera. Now, let's see if the woman with the bad pussy. Now, this is a problem right here. This is the reason why I came up with the Pussycat Facts report, so that women don't have to feel shameful that the person that she's talking to, which she think is her friend, got bad pussy. See, she's looking towards the men. What do the men have to do? The sister in the black supposed to say, nah, my pussy bad. That ain't even on him. He's healthy as an ox. But this is what happens when you have women talking and no man who's educated enough to understand the sinister behaviors of these bitches. You see?
2 weeks to get as many eggs as possible. Then you do the surgery to take the eggs out and put it with the sperm to make the embryo.
So what does the man have to do in this? Ejaculate in a cup or something?
Yeah. 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 And then after you finish that cycle, now that's not it.
Right. So this woman is fake. So she didn't say, nah, that man's healthy. It's my pussy that's the one that's bad. But here she goes. She's saying it in a different way. So pay attention.
Yeah. Yeah. And then after you finish that cycle, now that's not it. Once you're ready to put the embryo in, if you get embryos, because sometimes you don't even get embryos. There's women that have been going through this for years that I've met that still don't have a baby. You know what I mean?
There's some women that's been going through IVF for years that still don't have a baby because they don't get embryos. Then what happens, Prince? Then when the embryos connect, some of the babies be missing noses and arms. These are the type of babies that's going to be quote unquote black babies. So you know your community is had, just so you know.
I mean, so it's like, so we went through putting one in, and we actually, the first embryo didn't stick. We lost that one. That was devastating. After all of that,
She had a miscarriage already that was stuck in a fallopian tube. She didn't call that devastating. But now that she trapped the man into getting the IVF and they lost a baby because it's scientific and not natural, she was devastated because she want to trap that man. These bitches are some of the worst people you ever. She was devastated because she lost a scientific baby because her pussy couldn't just get fucked and reproduce. So who did the devastation fall on? It fell on the man. And how did it fall on the man, Prince? Because he got to have pity because her pussy ain't shit. And she trying to make sure I get like an autistic or slow baby. Crazy work.
we went through putting one in, and we actually, the first embryo didn't stick. We lost that one. That was devastating after all of that. And then the second part of it, after you do the egg retrieval, you have to start the shots again.
Powerball is trying to censor this video before more people discover the loophole that has already
Just to put the embryo in. So, I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Does it hurt?
Girl, when I tell you, I was like, you get to the point where it's like, if I was like, oh yeah, we're gonna record this, da da da, and then you like, you're putting it in the wrong spot.
So he was doing it to you?
You did all my shots.
Oh my God.
I was like, why did you put it there? Right? It just drives you crazy. And then you go through all of that, and then you don't
And
get the
you're
baby.
hoping. You're just hoping.
It's on a hope and a prayer, and then you don't get the baby.
So you doing all this for some pussy that you chose as a man, and it's still a hope and a prayer. Ma'am, why won't you let that man go with a woman that he can have babies naturally with? Because you're selfish. Why won't you let that man go have 4 babies instead of the one that he got to be regulated to with you? Ma'am, you're 34 years old. Your pussy can't even compute.
Baby, and so you go through this whole mental breakdown.
Yes, I can imagine.
And then it's like, dang, okay, we got one more shot because we only had 2 embryos. I wasn't one of the girls that had a bunch of, So then we kind of geared up and did it again. Now we have our sweet little baby. So I will say it's worth it in the end. It absolutely is worth it.
You got a healthy little baby.
I got a healthy baby boy.
So, but you have one more like in the coop.
Yeah, that's fucked up. Any of you guys want to have a baby like that? And that's what you get when you're dealing with the black woman. Now, she ain't going to say whether he's autistic, slow, or anything. And that's fine.
No.
I thought you had one more embryo.
No, the first one, it didn't stick.
So you have to do this all over again.
Girl, I would have to do the whole process.
Are you going to do it all over again?
I don't know. I'm praying to God. I'm like, God, go ahead and get this.
Class, when do bitches call on God? It's all the same thing, man. Our black sisters are ruined. Our family, even my mother had like 5 babies. Like, come on now. These bitches can't even have a baby naturally. And when they have one, and when they have a scientific one, it's stuck to one baby. So if that baby's fucked up, that man never gets another chance with his quote unquote wife that he chose. What a horrible pick.
Tube, because God can still do. I still got one good tube.
Yes.
It's a low, come on, God, come through for your girl because.
Wow.
Come on, God, come through for your girl because my pussy bad.
And people think it's the money aspect of it because it is expensive, but it's really the mental.
Yeah.
No, it's not the mental. It's the fact that he can go get with a woman that could just have a baby naturally. Black women have fucked up nature, King.
And
I can imagine.
It's mentally taxing on you, on him. And when I see women doing it by themselves, I'm like, girl, how you doing it by yourself?
Hell no.
There you go. When I see women doing IVF by themselves, that's what's going to be called the black community. Women that's doing IVFs by themselves. Where the sperm come from might not even be a black man.
Oh, because then you gonna raise a baby by yourself. We ain't gonna talk about that.
It's a lot.
People gonna email in the comments. I have so many thoughts around women who think like I could just have a baby because it is so hard. Not even that it's hard. That's selfish because that baby, that baby needs more than just you. But we ain't gonna get into it. Don't comment about that. What I just
see. Don't want smoke from the women, and that's why this community will never grow because women don't want to hold women accountable, and it's all for money, to be selfish to one another. And to be above one another. But this woman right here on the screen, she knows her pussy ain't shit. And she's happy to have that man that's in her life. And all she ever wanted to do was give him a baby. She don't care how that baby came out, King. That's the type of women you're dealing with. And until brothers get this sort of game, you blacks will always be behind I hate to say this, your worst enemy. I hate to say that because you want to talk about fucking up a community. Woo! That is what you call destruction. You hear me? Let's continue.
Uterus. So some of the symptoms of that are all right, thank you guys so much for stopping by. So for today's video, I'm going to be talking about a subject that's really close to my heart.
Class, what subject is close to a woman? No. Class, what is the only subject that's close to a woman's heart? What is the only subject matter in the whole wide world that could ever be close to a woman's heart with sincerity?
Hey, what's up, you guys? It's Vicky Vice, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you've never been here before. I thank you guys so much for stopping by. So for today's video, I'm going to be talking about a subject that's really close to my heart, and it's because I have suffered from it for over 12 years, and that's endometriosis. So if you guys want to hear about my endometriosis story, about the symptoms, and how I got through being diagnosed, make sure you stay tuned. Alrighty, so for those of you who don't know, endometriosis is a disorder where your uterine tissue grows outside of your uterus. So some of the symptoms of that are painful periods, pain with intercourse, pain with...
One love to that nigga. What's good? What's good? Number one answer. Let's get it. How you say, if this was Family Feud, that would be the number one answer, King. Let's go.
Work my way forward and tell you what my story was. So if you're someone that is squeamish to talking about periods and, you know, just basic life things, you guys probably want to click out of this video. No hard feelings. This probably isn't for you if you have, you know, trouble hearing stuff like that. So for me personally, I started my period when I was 10 years old, which is super young to start your period. And I remember my first period being like, oh my gosh, I got my period. When does it stop? And my mom was like, girl.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie. I do, yo, that nigga, you my nigga, son. I respect it, man. I give you your credit, son. And let me tell you why? Because you know what she's about to say. You know everything. This bitch couldn't say a word you didn't know.
You're in for a rude awakening, and she has no idea how true that statement was. So my first period, I experienced pain and cramping, but I thought it was like a normal thing that like girls go through. Apparently it is, but just not to the severity that I had it. So it didn't start getting super severe until I was about 12 years old. I remember being in the 6th grade, 7th grade, and every single month having to go down to the nurse's office and be like I am in so much pain. My head is throbbing. I'm doubled over in pain, and I need pain medicine. And, you know, every single month I go down and the nurse would be like, oh, you're just doing this to get out of class. Like, you're not in that much pain. And I was like, no, like, I feel like I'm dying. Like, it feels like someone's cutting my stomach open. And she'd be like, yeah, whatever, go back to class. Like, lay down for 10 minutes, go back to class. And so that was my school experience with periods. Like, you know, just constantly having to go to the bathroom and, you know, not to be graphic, but change things. And, you know, just always being in pain, always having headaches. And just, my mom always knew when, like, I was going to be on my period because I would have such severe mood swings and I'd be in pain, and it would be pain leading up to the period and then pain during the period and pain a couple days after. And so it was always this whole big thing around my period. And so I would always go to my doctor and be like, this hurts, like I'm in so much pain. And he'd be like, okay, well, you know, try taking pain medicine, or, you know, try this technique that will help you relax, or try drinking more water when you're about to start your period. And so I tried all these things and none of it worked. And so I'm about 15 years old now. And
here we go, that nigga. Here you go.
And I was just in so much pain. Like, I ended up missing school a lot, not just because of my endometriosis, but also because of my mental health, which I will probably talk about in another video.
Here we go. Not just because of my pussy, plus my mental health. Ma'am, you're only 15 years old. How bad can you be? One love, King. Here we go. This is all your stuff right here. This is all your work. Let's go.
I ended up missing a lot of school based on, you know, just health reasons and issues surrounding my endometriosis. And so I talked to my doctor about this, and finally he was like, you know, we're going to put you on hormonal birth control. We're going to put you on something. I talked to my doctor about this, and finally he was like, you know, we're going to put you on hormonal birth control. We're going to put you on something. I talked to my doctor about this, and finally he was like, you know, we're going to put you on hormonal birth control.
There you go, that nigga. You know the story. That nigga, you know the story oh too well. You hear me? I got my period when I was a child. I can't handle being a woman. At this point, she wishes she was a transgender, but still with a box so she could fleece men. So what did she do? She went to the doctor, and her parents let the doctors put her on birth control so that she can function. Let's go.
Put you on something that will probably help it, that'll lighten up your periods and all the stuff, because it was one of those, it was so bad that I would have to wear multiple overnight pads for like the daytime, and I'd have to switch them out, and I'd still be in pain, and I'd have migraines, and I'd get dizzy, and I wouldn't sleep for days, and I'd always have pain. And so, you know, he put me on this medicine, and I used it in combination with naproxen, which is just Advil or Aleve. It's one of the two. But I was put on a prescription strength pain medication, and I was put on birth control. And so that worked for about a year or two. And then I started getting really bad migraines, which also is a whole nother health issue in itself. Probably gonna end up doing a bunch of different videos just surrounding my health journey, because there are a lot of different health issues that I do have, unfortunately. So
there you have it. There you have it, King. The war is on the black woman's uterus, but they don't know that. They too stupid. They're so worried about fleecing you than worrying about themselves. Because remember, doesn't sound like she had a boyfriend or anything yet. This was her youth. So let's see what happens.
just focusing on the endometriosis, though, I would have a bunch of migraines in combination with back pain, which ended up with, you know.
Now, because it's a fascinating story. And isn't it fascinating that, nigga? Isn't it fascinating that they get this sort of scenarios with their pussy, and then men and boys, you know, whenever she started making love, men don't know nothing about what she been through as a child. You see what I'm saying? So she still grows up, and men like are just, wolves or whatever the case is. They know nothing. Look at, do you see the story? She knows this from 15, but as she becomes 18 or whatever the case is, she realized, oh, men just want it. They don't know. If they knew what I had going on since I was a child, they would be worried. But let's go.
A bunch of migraines in combination with back pain, which ended up with, cramps. And when I say cramps, I don't mean like your standard like cramps, because I've had standard cramps before. I know what those are like, but I'm talking about excruciating pain where I'm bawling my eyes out and I'm screaming in pain and retching on the floor and like rolling around. I can't sleep. I have to sleep with a pillow pressed to my stomach, or I have to sleep with a pillow between my legs because there's so much pressure on my pelvis and my hips that it feels like my body is caving in. So he put me on a different birth control. They put me on NuvaRing. And
class, in particular, that nigga, do the black woman contaminate her body with all different sort of unidentified objects and contaminants? I don't see no support. Oh, it finally came now. I was about to say, yo, I don't see no support, nigga. Hey, yo, that nigga supported the show. Why don't y'all do like that nigga and support the class? It's the only class that's out here. And I'm gonna tell you niggas another thing. You supposed to support when that nigga supports, so it look like we doing something. Y'all know I'm cooking up for free anyway. It don't matter.
And that made my migraines even worse. And so my pediatrician, who was a man, ended up, saying, we should probably send you to a gynecologist. This is a little bit out of my area of expertise. I've done everything I can personally do for you. So I got recommended to a gynecologist, and I went to my first gynecologist when I was 17 years old, I think. And it's kind of young to be going to a gynecologist, but with all the different health issues that I had, was basically the only option that I had. So I got recommended to a female GYN, and I was so excited because I thought, this woman's totally going to get what I'm talking about. She's got
systemic programming, thinking a woman knows better than a man. Based on what? Based on her box. She is a willing experimentation factory. Facts.
Uterus, like she's got to know about this stuff. And so I just assumed that, going to a woman would mean that I would get better health care for women's issues, which was completely the opposite of what happened, unfortunately. So I went to this woman, and I would go see her about 3 times a year, which is more than a lot of people see GYNs. And I would see her and I'd say, like, this hurts so bad. Like, I can't do all these things. And now I'm starting to have back pain and pain shooting down my legs. I have problems when I go to the bathroom. Like, I have migraines all the time. And it was just, oh, everyone's got cramps. And I got so sick of hearing, oh, everyone's got cramps, because every single time I would tell her what I was feeling, that this is what my body is doing.
Now, this is important because a lot of women hate the fact that other women have a better pussy. And she like, well, why everyone else's pussy is better? And she's upset. and she's going to the doctor because she just wants to be regular. Let's go.
Every single month, on the month, there's no time that I have any relief. She was just saying, oh, everyone has cramps. And I wish that she could have just seen how bad my just cramps were, because like my mom or my sister can tell you, I was immobilized for days surrounding my period, before my period, after my period. And then I think I was about 18. Every single time that I had ovulation, pain would start. So
okay, so now she's 18. So she knows she got bad pussy in comparison to her friends. Okay, so now she's 18. She's ready to start having sex. I haven't seen the video. Let's see what happens.
The cycle of my ovulation was about 7 days, and then the time around my period was 7 days. So over half of the month, I was in pain, and pain just related to my uterus, not even the other pain that I have. But again, that's the story for a whole other day. I couldn't stand up. You would never see me without my heating pad or like a blanket. There was one last time where I was like, please, like, help me. I can't handle this anymore. Like, I feel like I'm dying all the time out of the month. And she just would not believe anything that I had to say. And it got to the point where I was like, well, you know, maybe she is right. Maybe everyone does have cramps. Maybe I'm being dramatic about the whole thing. Maybe, you know, this is just my lot in life. Maybe this is just the thing that I have to deal with, and I'm just being a huge baby. And my mom was like, do you see when your sister has her period and when other girls have their period? Are they in bed and are they suffering? Are they screaming in pain and unable to sleep and have to have pillows everywhere surrounding them? And I was like, well, no. She was like, well, then it's not in your head. I just think that it's so bad that, you know, healthcare is at a point where your concerns, your valid concerns, aren't taken seriously.
Class, we all know that they run to the government daddy. They run to the doctors. Everything they run to supposed to be smarter and better than the black man. So they take their words for it over themselves and us. And they soon realize when we took all these classes, doctors don't like you, black woman.
Where you're meant to feel like you're crazy if you have this pain.
No. When you have bad pussy.
No one can see, and that's why it's called like an invisible illness, is because you can't physically see like my uterine lining growing outside of my body, but I can feel it, and you can see how much pain I'm in. But just because, you know, it doesn't show up doesn't mean that, you know, that's not real. And I will say that during this time, she did do a few tests. She did a external sonogram and an internal sonogram, and nothing, you know, showed up. And so I figured, you know,
Class, that nigga, this is not an easy question. This is not an easy question, that nigga. Let's see if you or anybody in the class can get this right. How come when the doctor did the sonograms, they didn't see the endometriosis? What kind of X-ray system, or, you know, do you have to get for keyword vagina for them to see the endometriosis? What type of procedure? The sonogram won't do it. The ultrasound won't do it. Okay. So what kind of procedure do you have to get to find this a lot of times? And it's two. It sounds like whatever affects their head, their uterus is going through, is definitely because of the hormone imbalance and leaky gut. Yes.
I'm crazy. And so it was just rough. But, you know, as time progressed, I just realized that I had to get out of there and away from that doctor's office and into a new doctor. And so I decided to go see the doctor that my sister sees. Yeah, I told her about all of the symptoms that I was having. And she was like, all right, well, we're going to order an external sonogram, an internal sonogram, some blood work. And if all of that comes back negative, we're going to set you up for surgery. So something that's not commonly known about endometriosis is that you have to undergo a surgery to find out if that's something that you have. It doesn't show up on your blood test. It doesn't show up in sonograms or ultrasounds.
Yeah, that is a tough, right. That's a tough question. Not many men will know that. Yeah, they got to go up in there with the camera, laparoscopic or laparoscopy, and a lot of times they try the transvaginal ultrasound. Yeah, the laparoscopic Laparoscopic surgery.
Out if that's something that you have. It doesn't show up on your blood test. It doesn't show up in sonograms or ultrasounds. So you have to go get surgery to see if that's what it is. So she ordered the sonogram and ultrasound, whatever, to make sure that it wasn't something else. And when they went in for my sonogram, they found a cyst on my left ovary.
Oh, no. Oh, hey, class, what do we always say? There's always something else going on. It's never just one. Let's go.
And so she said, okay, well, I didn't find any endometriosis. Do you still want the surgery? And, you know, all of these years of fighting kind of made me want to push for the surgery because I knew that it wasn't something that was showing up on any test, but I knew that it was something I was feeling and I knew that it wasn't in my head. And, you know, I said, yes, I want the surgery. And so a little bit after that, I was scheduled for my surgery and I went in completely certain that I was going to get my answer to whatever was going wrong inside of my body. Because, you know, if it wasn't endometriosis, then I knew that it wasn't. But if it was, then I knew that I was right. And so I went in for surgery that day. My whole family was there. My boyfriend was there. My boyfriend's.
So she did have a boyfriend because she said she was 18. So maybe she said 2 years after that. So maybe she's 21 now. So now she's got a boyfriend. Okay.
Was, and I knew that I was right. And so I went in for surgery.
All of these years, remember, she knew her pussy was bad. She still took it out to her boyfriend. Why, class? Because the boyfriend don't know.
It wasn't endometriosis, then I knew that it wasn't. But if it was, then I knew that I was right. And so I went in for surgery that day. My whole family was there. My boyfriend was there. My boyfriend's grandma.
Now that is the bonus tip of the show, that nigga. We showed that she knew she had pussy issues since she was a child. She still took that pussy out to a man. You understand me? She still took that pussy out to a boy, a young man. And she knew it's been bad her whole life and how much pain it caused her. Still took it out to a man. Until we could get to that factor, which we probably won't, brothers will never understand the game. You hear me? That's the game right there. She knew her pussy was bad. Her mama knew her pussy was bad. Her sister knew her pussy was bad. She still took it out to a boy. And guess where he's at now? At pussy surgery.
Mother came and was there with me, and that was fantastic. Like my boyfriend's family is so wonderful. But yeah, I went in for surgery that day, and I came out of surgery, and you know, my GYN came to me. She was like, I did find endometriosis in your uterus, and I found that it had spread elsewhere. And so she was like, you were right. And
there we go. That nigga is an official class leader. He said it's like mold. It never pops up in just one place. It spreads multiple places. Listen to what the woman said.
Surgery that day, and I came out of surgery, and you know, my GYN came to me. She was like, I did find endometriosis in your uterus, and I found that it had spread elsewhere. And so
it had spread elsewhere, like that nigga said. Let's go.
So she was like, you were right. And having my doctor tell me that I was right felt like a weight lifted off my shoulders, because all those years of my doctor invalidating my feelings and invalidating, you know, what was happening with my body, and then having my new doctor tell me that I was right, felt amazing. So the moral of the story was to tell you about endometriosis and bring awareness to that, because 1 in 10 women in the United States do suffer from endometriosis, even if it is or is not diagnosed. But I also wanted to say that if you feel that something is wrong with your body, and you know that something is wrong with your body, don't take no for an answer. That's your body. You need to advocate for yourself, because for so long I wasn't properly advocating for myself and properly saying, you know, you need to do this. This is my body. This is my life. Figure it out. So what you're feeling with your body is valid. Don't let anyone tell you that what your body is telling you, the signs that your body is giving you, is wrong. You push for yourself, you advocate for yourself, and you do what's best for your health.
Here's a question, class. When do women want other women to pay attention to their bodies? Because her friends ain't doing this, not the ones. When do women want other women to pay attention to their bodies? Y'all know the answer to that. Come on. That's an easy question. That's easy.
So y'all, let's talk about the pros and cons of having a baby at 35 and older. Because everybody gonna say, oh, it's amazing, and oh, it's this. And it is amazing because you've been and had your life together. Most of us after 35 been and got our shit together. You know, when you compare the child different from when you parented your oldest child. But they don't tell you about when you're 43 like me and you got an 8-year-old son and you got to go to water parks, theme parks, and stuff like that. And the next day you be tired of shit. I'm talking about y'all. Between the water and the motherfucking sun, them two elements from the earth kicked my ass yesterday. I'm talking about y'all. I just got up at 3:30. I had to go get me some coffee because I ain't gonna be able to make it for the rest of the day. He had a birthday party and he was supposed to go bowling. And y'all, I couldn't do the bowling. I was so exhausted. I'm talking about headache exhausted. I'm talking about I was on them rides and all that stuff. This is what my hair look like. I'm talking about everything but you can think of. And his daddy has no problem. Me, on the other hand, I had to recuperate. I had to rejuvenate.
Now, this is what happens when these women start having these babies old.
Y'all, don't let nobody convince you that having a baby over 35 is something that is wrong or something that you should rush and do in your 20s. Now, I have to agree with you. I was much more energetic, I would say, in my 20s. But after 35, having a baby after 35, the wisdom, the knowledge that you know that you need to take care of yourself as well as your baby, access to things that your baby needs, being able.
Doesn't matter how healthy that baby is. You understand me?
Hey, so listen, if you've had a child or if you have children over 35, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm trying to understand why people want to make women over a certain age feel wrong for giving birth or make it seem like it's unfair to the child. Where is that coming from? And why do the doctors want to sit there and...
Y'all.
Damn, hold on.
Hey.
Ma'am, it's coming from... Ma'am, let me tell you something. First of all, that's the only child that you can have. That's the problem. You would have been able to have more children. So it's still a selfish proposition, no matter how you cut it. Whether you want to talk about the child is slow, preemie, can't be breastfed.
So listen, if you've had a child or if you have children over 35, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm trying to understand why people want to make women over a certain age feel wrong for giving birth or make it seem like it's unfair to the child. Where is that coming from? And why do the doctors want to sit there and call it geriatric based on our age? I'm 37. Geriatric where? Where? Why don't you consider how well we take care of our bodies? That's a huge...
There you go, guys. So the question would be to my class, what percentage of Black women are taking care of their bodies?
I was a city girl. I was a city girl. Now I'm in the house fixing bottles and changing shit today. This don't even add up. Where did this even fit into the equation? I don't know, but it happens, okay? Life is not the same. I can't say the last time.
Look, she gonna be, first of all, and I tell you guys, when these women have babies at that late age, they be different races and all sorts of weird shit. It's crazy work.
Let's talk about geriatric pregnancy because girls, are they birthing babies or filing for NSSN?
Hold on.
My daughter is my absolute everything because at the age of 35, after miscarriage, I didn't know if having a baby would be in the cards for me in the mid.
Now that baby do look like her. I give her that. That baby looks like her. But look what happened, guys. Everything that I teach you, miscarriage after miscarriage, I will still bring a baby into this world. Now, the baby does look like her, and we hope that the baby is well. But the point is, with all of those things that happen to her, plus you count baby deletions, you just won't say that that's the healthiest apple in the bucket. Just put it like that. No disrespect. I hope that baby is wonderfully healthy, man. But just look at what she's talking about. How?
My daughter is my absolute everything because at the age of 35, after miscarriage, I didn't know if having a baby would be in the cards for me. In the midst of me being pregnant, the doctor was trying to tell me that I had ovarian cancer, trying to take my baby at 26 weeks, 32 weeks, and 38.
What I tell you guys, what did I tell you? Think 25 years down the line. These are the type of babies during her pregnancy. The doctor told her, ma'am, your box is going, ma'am, your box is in destructive mode. Nobody want to understand why our community is fucked up, man. And it ain't going to get any better. They're having babies at 35. The doctor warned her. Doctor tried to pull the baby at 26 weeks. Like I tell you guys all the time, they don't care what kind of baby they give you.
Although I was able to carry her until I was 40 weeks and one day because I didn't allow them to take her. She brings me so much joy into my life. She make life so worth living every single day. I look forward to waking up and being with her.
That baby look like she know where to look. That baby look like her motor skills are good.
She's just the sweetest little girl, and she just makes me so happy. And she loved me unconditionally, even though some days I may not be feeling good or great about where I am in life and things that I'm doing. But what I do feel great about is being her mother. And
there you have it. All right. That's one thing I could say. I ain't like my baby mamas. Y'all know me. Those are some serious bitches. You know, I only deal with serious bitches, B. My baby mamas would never say the shit that she said. Oh, I don't like where I'm at in life. No. My baby mamas, they were some serious bitches. You hear me? They don't play.
It's just so amazing.
What I'm gonna do? I'm gonna be all at the graduation. They're gonna be like, your grandma's here.
For the women that are 35 and older that are pregnant, you went to your doctor's office. Did you kind of feel like there's this, I don't know, they make you feel like this old hag for having a baby past 35? Like, did you feel like they focus more on the negatives, the negative?
Like I try to tell you, class, I can bring you countless content about women looking like this and not the swagged up shit that you see. See, because there's a war going on outside. No box is safe from. And they are happy that you don't know that. These women face so much shit, players. That's why I do this, because at the end of the day, I know that I can make somebody give a damn about these ratchet ass bitches. Because if you start to care about the person other than the pussy, you be like, damn, bitch, you go through hell. But we can't say nothing to you, so we like, fuck it.
Outcomes of what could possibly happen than the positive. Now, for me, as someone who is very aware of what can happen and what can go wrong, and you know, the chances of miscarriage and chromosome abnormalities when you get older.
See, every time I say that nigga and HD Live, it's two things that HD Live and that nigga laugh at me about, class. They laugh at me when I say women will fuck you with discomfort and in pain while you're sweating beads and having the time of your life. So they didn't believe me and they laughed at me, right? And the other one that they laugh at me about is how I often say, yo, they will give you some deformed children. And I try to tell you, nobody, niggas laugh at me. Niggas laugh at me until she say it.
Chromosome
abnormalities.
The things, chances of miscarriage and chromosome abnormalities when you get older. Like, I'm very aware of that. And I don't know if it's because I worked at OBGYN when I was younger. So, you know, I knew about the increase of that and it being a possibility. But I feel...
Keep telling y'all, man. That's why Dr. Umar Johnson got a bunch of black women to talk to, man. They fucking... I heard the Philadelphia Eagles owner gave $50 million to autism. They need to give us some damn grants so we can show these guys what's going on and how to fix this shit. You know what I mean? We would basically have fucking meal packs for our black youth to come fucking eat every day so that they can preserve them fucking cells.
Like, and maybe this is just my doctor's office per se, or just some of the people I've dealt with. It's not even everybody. Some of the people that I've dealt with, because I've recently switched a location that was closer to.
I know. Even I get tired of this shit.
If you're a woman in your 20s or 30s and you're feeling behind in life and been feeling pressure and the pull of a biological clock,
Don't ever let bitches talk to you. Look at this shit. She says having a baby after 35. Yo, these bitches stand on some weird business. Let's go. Check this out. Hold on. What'd I do here? I fucked up. Yo, we are some messed up people, King.
So I had a set of twins at 27, and I also have a 2-year-old right now, and I'll be 40 later on this year.
Hold on. Okay, I see where I messed up at. Okay. All right. Let me give one more joint. Hold on. Cause it's Friday, man. Y'all know I want to have some fun too. Even though I may come back later. Hold on. Damn, this one sick ass bitch. Dang. I know y'all ain't gonna like it, but fuck it.
Actually been 1 week since my blood transfusion, so let me tell you what went down. Also, I'm doing so much better now, as you can see. Like, if you had seen me last week, I looked dead. Here's a backstory. I have experienced really heavy bloating, cramping, and heavy periods all my life. I got my period when I was 11 years old, and all the women in my...
That nigga. It doesn't. Now, remember, I did not type this in. This is a whole different story I'm trying to show you. But you are so informed that is, brother, you know every woman's story, brother. They have fucked America up. Let's go.
Bloating, cramping, and heavy periods all my life. I got my period when I was 11 years old, and all the women in my family just have normal, heavy periods. So I didn't really think anything of it. But the second I turned 30, it was like 3 years ago, I didn't know what it was, but it was like my hormones. But I was experiencing the heaviest period. I had to start wearing diapers. I was starting to literally soak through my clothes, my underwear. I was doing like an underwear a day. So imagine this month, I don't know what happened. Like when I was sleeping, I was hearing my heartbeat in my ear. And every time I stood up, I walked anywhere, I did anything, my heart was going like this, as if I was running a marathon. I started to get dizzy in the shower. I was like, you know what, maybe you need to go to the doctor. It's like Thursday, May 6th. I had no energy to even get up. It took me like 2 hours to even take a shower, get ready, take 6,000 rests on my bed. But I got to the hospital. I filled out the little form that tells you like put in your symptoms. I sat down in the waiting area. I brought like coffee, bagel, even a pillow because I thought, it's probably gonna take 5 hours. Wrong. I literally sat down. They called me to the triage room. Girl looked at me. She's like, your hemoglobin's low. I was like, okay. Like I was dead. I really would have passed out right there. I'm like, I don't know what that means. She's like, okay, let me just do your testing first. She does my blood test in the room. They do the EKG or ECG, or I forgot how you say it. They check my heart rate. I go to do the registration. I do that. I sit back down and I'm like, okay, from here, I'm probably going to have to wait maybe an hour. Why did I sit down and they called my name in 3 minutes? I look around, everyone's just looking at me like, these people have been here for hours. Why am I getting called? Like, I'm not taking in that, oh, it probably is serious. I talked to the nurse and she pretty much tells me later on, she's like, yeah, your iron is super low. You are losing too much blood. Your hemoglobin should be anywhere between like 110 to 120-ish. You are at like 50. We need to put you on blood transfusion right now. She gave me the form. She told me like the rest of it. She's like, worst case is death, but that doesn't really happen as much. We can get anaphylactic shock, throwing up, or body aches and this and that. I'm like, okay, signed it off. Within an hour, I got blood thickeners because I'm obviously actively on my period. I'm B negative, so they had to go find blood for that. By the time they checked everything, brought it, they hooked me up, started it, and it was like 4 hours for one pack. So I'm laying there like this, taking my blood pressure from here, taking blood from here, blood thickener ran through here, so like bruising. I got the blood back there. At the end of the 4 hours, like I took a nap and everything. I woke up and I felt brand new. I felt like a whole new bitch. So then they're like, we're gonna do the next bag.
Okay. I don't know, man. I try my best, man, to protect black men and men in general. Who wouldn't like a woman like this giving them head, even though she might be heavy set? She got a pretty face. You take some head from that, you bend over. What if she told you she got 2 persons' blood in her body? What if she tell you she got 3 persons' blood in her body? Would you still hit it? Would you still let her spit on your eggplant and all that? I don't know. You niggas tell me, man. Nah, Prince, I'll wrap it up. I'll still knock it down. I'll wrap it up. Shit, I've been fucking bitches before I knew all this information anyway. You know? Like I keep telling you, man, it's 1,000,001 reasons to disqualify these bitches. Oh, I got one more thing for you guys. Okay. I got more. I don't want you guys being down, man. Fuck this. Zim, what's good?
I don't speak from a duress perspective. I'm speaking. But that's just your perspective. I'm speaking from authority. So what I'm saying is that, and this is what y'all have to realize. For whatever reason, y'all keep talking to me as though y'all not losing. Women and men are losing. You guys are losers. You're worse off than ever before. Maybe not on an individual level, but collectively, you guys are losers. You are last place on the totem pole. You know what we don't listen to? What are you talking about? Men, as a group, women, specifically black women, is last place. So what I'm saying is, why would we listen to losers?
Now, black women, from what we heard, black women are last place on the dating apps. Okay? They got a shit ton of debt. And we're not going to talk about anything about class. Because you know our class are really had their ass losing. But we just talk about what Anton talking about. I mean, ma'am, no other man wants to marry you. We could go marry out. Y'all can't like that. Not like that. Because you know why? Because y'all got to go present yourselves and say, hey, white man, we like you. Black bitches don't do that. See what I'm saying? So nobody else is going to marry you. Last on the dating apps. Got a lot of debt. Most unmarried. Most deletions. Separated from the men in your own community. But you're going to tell us how to be men. And like I said, got nothing to do with our class. Our class finishes them.
Black women is last place. So what I'm saying is, why would we listen to losers?
I don't know who you're talking about.
I just described.
So I don't know. I don't know.
Women in mass.
She said, I don't know who you talking about. Do you represent black women? We talking about black women as a collective, black women as a whole. Do you represent black women? And that's when you know black women are just traitors. They're traitors to the worst power. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, son, you a traitor on your... The sisterhood is full of shit. You're a traitor on it. All you care about is yourself. What you mean who you talk about? We talk about black black women. No, not the hood bitches. They ain't got no debt. It's you bitches with the debt, not the hood boogers.
Men, as a group, women, specifically black women, is last place. So what I'm saying is, why would we listen to losers?
I don't know who you're talking about.
I just described.
So I don't know. I don't know.
Why are women in mass trying to tell us what we're supposed to do as men when y'all are last place of any group?
Well, because y'all are opening the conversation.
Look at that white girl. It's a white girl up there. Look at the white girl. White girl, like, my God. Yo, Anton, crazy. Yeah, look at that white girl. That white girl, like, it's good day not to be black.
Losers, it's level, but collectively you got. So let's be clear.
Any man can say that.
You know,
the leader.
There is nobody.
We're not talking about you.
I am the person. None of the rest perspective. I'm speaking.
But that's just your perspective.
I'm speaking from authority. So what I'm saying is that, and this is what y'all have to realize. For whatever reason, y'all keep talking to me as though y'all not losing. Women and men are losing. You guys are losers. You're worse off than ever before. Maybe not on an individual level, but collectively, you guys are losers. You are last place on the totem pole. You know what we don't listen to?
What are you talking about?
And men, as a group, women, specifically black women, is last place. So what I'm saying is, why would we listen to losers?
I don't know who you're talking about.
I just described.
So I don't know. I don't know.
Why are women in mass trying to tell us what we're supposed to do as men when y'all are last place of any group?
Well, because y'all are opening the conversation. Y'all are opening the conversation.
Feminine men, and how this feminine men are causing problems.
I thought that the dialogue was between men and women.
Yeah, I've got a simple
Isn't
question.
the dialogue between men and women?
No.
This AI transforms a kid's photo into a personalized storybook parents will pay for.
Listen, this is a dialogue.
No, not between
the same way that y'all ask us questions with regard to how it is that we complain about certain things. I'm posing a question to y'all now. Why do women? Why you didn't even hear the question yet? Why do women feel as though they have authority to speak on an issue that they can't solve for within their own communities?
And there you go. Now, I keep telling y'all, this surface level conversation is going, oh, they're numb to it, but he still stood on business, but they're numb to the surface level. It's all conversation. And they know brothers won't go there. And that's fine. That's why we're here. We're special.
That's the reason why Trump is in office. That's all I want to say. Because
hey, homie, hey, that nigga. What if we brought the pussycat fat? Look, this is one of my. That's why we gotta migrate, guys. You guys gotta go to the back chat so you can come to my other channel. Or I do have some key things in my new channel that you'll know it's me. But anyway, where was I with this? What if we had the Pussycat Facts report, right? And we say, hold the show, everybody. All of you women, take the, fill this form out. And you send it to every woman. Nobody knows what they're getting. So you fill this form out. And they all fill the form out and send it back in, right? And then as men, we get the form. We're on the panel with the women. Okay, so let's say the one on the far right with the hat, the so-called ugliest one, right? Let's say the one on the right with the hat, either one. They got the best Pussycat Facts report, right? So the one on the right with the hat got the best Pussycat Facts report. And then the three up top got the worst. And then we say, okay, the ones at the bottom, they got a better Pussycat Facts report than y'all. So we'll take their words a little more serious than y'all. And they speak before y'all. Why, Prince? Because they carried their pussies better in life than y'all. So that should garner a little more respect. Everybody shouldn't get to speak at the same time or out of turn based on how you carried your, the score of your Pussycat Facts report. Yo, they would crash out. They would be like, I ain't coming back here no more. They'd be like, I ain't coming. And guess who would stay up there? The ones who pussies checked out. You know what I mean? It would be so beautiful, man. I got to get that for my other channel because we ain't growing over here. So we just practicing over here, King. And I got to make sure you niggas migrate with me. But if we was to bring that Pussycat Facts report out and bitches realize, nah, you don't get to speak yet. You last. And all the brothers, yeah, I agree. Your score was the lowest. Yeah, right. Okay. So if the white woman got the worst box, we do it to her. We're not biased. We all go on how you carried your box. Because there's a few things that we've learned over here.
They failed at controlling their pussy, protecting their pussy, and even maintaining and cleansing their pussy.
Let's go. Let's go.
But I just, I want to grown people things. No, he do not have to be 2019.
Okay. So what's the youngest?
I would say 45 to 55.
Okay, 45, 55. So when was your last relationship?
My last relationship was when I was married, to be honest.
And that was, when did you get divorced?
That was 2019.
Okay, so that's 6 years ago. You don't have to answer, but I'm going to ask, when's the last time you was intimate with someone?
The last time I was intimate with somebody was last night.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
What you calling me for? You don't have to answer, but I'm going to ask, when's the last time you was intimate with someone?
The last time I was intimate with somebody was last night.
Are you serious?
It was in 19.
Okay, so that's 6 years ago. You don't have to answer, but I'm going to ask, when's the last time you was intimate with someone?
The last time I was intimate with somebody was last night.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
What you calling me for? What's going on?
No, that's just my friend. He's just my friend.
You ladies, okay, you the second lady in the last week and a half that be calling me. Let me give y'all some advice, okay? If you're trying to get another man to be your man, having sex with your friend is not the way to reveal. Because no man wants to know you got a friend that when you get mad at him, you can go over Leroy house, your friend would benefit.
That's true.
That's true. Remember, I'm going to give y'all a tip. Because I think the answer is you don't have to answer that question. It's the one question you can say, Kendra, I don't want to answer. If you have, now, let me tell you the only reason why men can get away with this. Because women don't really care. Y'all say y'all care, but if a man is fine and he got a woman in the background, I mean, I know the proof is in the pudding. I own dating apps. I own a dating app. Y'all still gonna reach out. So I know y'all be talking a lot of shit, but I know the data. So it shouldn't work in a man's favor, but it can.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really not gonna work in a woman's favor unless it's a guy from Africa who just want to get to the country. He don't give a damn if your man live with you too, because he's trying to live with you because he wants to be here. He don't care if your baby daddy live with you because he's trying to get out of his country. That's the only man that's watching my show that don't give a damn if you slept with somebody in the last 24 hours. Every other decent man gonna care. So ladies, stop saying it.
Okay. Well, because
there you have it, fam. There you have it. There you have it.
They failed at controlling their pussy, protecting their pussy, and even maintaining and cleansing their pussy.
Family, your thoughts. Family, your thoughts. Your thoughts, man. I mean, these women are out of control. She's happy that she had sex with somebody last night. And now she's on a dating app saying that another man can come fuck her, as well. And guess what her excuse is? Listen to her excuse.
Because now, Alicia, I'm going to let you know, they're going to judge you for having sex 24 hours ago.
Well, I can say this. Even though I had sex 24 hours ago, guys and girls, don't judge me because I did take a shower. So, even though I had sex 24 hours ago, guys and girls, don't judge me because I did take a shower.
There you have it. She took a shower, so her pussy clean. He nutted in her pussy. But she took a shower, so you could come fuck her too. Like I said, the way that they think about us from a sexual standpoint is crazy, son. They really think that we have no sophistication about our eggplants. I totally detest that. I think that's the furthest thing from the truth. Had we known anything about the way these bitches carry that pussy, we would be choosy, son. We would be choosy. It's just that we don't know. We don't know how they carry their pussy, class. That's the only way they get it. We are way more sophisticated with our eggplants. We wouldn't fuck you if you take blood transfusions. We wouldn't fuck you if we know you fucked last night. We wouldn't do it. We don't do all that. We don't just fuck anything. I know it may seem like it. That's because bitches appear to be healthy and clean.
The answer is you don't have to.
55, you got a lot of life to live.
Did you get divorced?
That was 2019.
Okay, so that's 6 years ago. You don't have to answer, but I'm going to ask, when's the last time you was intimate with someone?
The last time I was intimate with somebody was last night.
Are you serious? Intimate with someone?
The last time I was intimate with somebody was last night.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
What you calling me for? What's wrong with him?
No, that's just my friend. He's just my friend. You know.
You ladies, okay, you the second lady in the last week and a half that be calling me. Let me give y'all some advice, okay? If you're trying to get another man to be your man, having sex with your friend is not the way to reveal. Because no man wants to know you got a friend that when you get mad at him, you can go over Leroy house, your friend would benefit.
That's true.
That's so remember, I'm going to give y'all a tip. Because I think the answer is you don't have to answer that question. It's the one question you can say, Kendra, I don't want to answer. If you have, now, let me tell you the only reason why men can get away with this. Because women don't really care. Y'all say y'all care, but if a man is fine and he got a woman in the background, I mean, I know the proof is in the pudding. I own dating apps. I own a dating app. Y'all still going to reach out. So I know y'all be talking a lot of shit, but I know the data. So it should work in a man's favor, but it can. Mm-hmm. But it's really not going to work in a woman's favor unless it's a guy from Africa who just want to get to.
So you guys get it, right? They don't cherish their own bodies. Okay?
Yeah, he don't care if your baby dead. So ladies, stop saying it.
Okay. Well,
because now, Alicia, I'm gonna let you know they're gonna judge you for having sex 24 hours ago.
Well, I can say this, even though I had sex 24 hours ago, guys and girls, don't judge me because I did take a shower. So with that being said, I'm just like, at the end of the day, listen, I am single, been divorced since 2019. I work hard. Sometimes here and there, I got to have somebody come over and rub my feet now.
Listen, I understand the physical requirement for a touch, but the men watching just gonna make their assumptions, right? And we always say don't judge, but they're gonna judge. I'm trying to tell you, but we're neither here nor there.
That's fine.
Yes, you grown and you doing grown woman things. So, and that's just what it is.
There you have it. Kendra's ruining these women. There you have it. Like what? Like a person like that wouldn't be allowed on Kevin Samuel's show. You know what I'm saying? Be like, ma'am, you are not good, ma'am. You are bad people. And Kendra, she does not have that about her. You know? Like women don't even believe they get to lie and try to play like a lady. And that's a definition of poor choices, but also a definition of how they think my eggplant's supposed to want anything they present. My eggplant is way more sophisticated than that. Never, never, never. We don't play that. You don't tell me your pussy bad and think I'm gonna still want it. No. That's crazy. That's crazy. You don't do that. They think so low of us, dog. The shit is wild. Bitch gonna tell us she fucked last night. Come fuck me too. I took a shower. Damn. But I don't want to be with the nigga that I fucked.
And sad-ish. Hey girl, it's Chris with the Fat Black Girl, and today we are discussing something that is near and dear to my heart.
What is the only thing that's near and dear to the black woman's heart, class? What is the only thing that is near and dear to the black woman's heart in a real way?
We are discussing something that is near and dear to my heart. It is a serious topic. And sad-ish, but it is definitely serious. But before we get into that, if you have been, I know you have been watching my content. I know you have, like on the sly, like on the low, like, but I'm gonna need you to subscribe. Thank you. You're wearing me out. So I took a little bit of a hiatus and it wasn't planned. I live with a condition.
I disagree with the kids. I disagree with the kids, Zem.
I took a little bit of a hiatus and it wasn't planned. I live with a condition called endometriosis. I spoke about it in my channel introduction a while ago. But suffice it to say that, and we're gonna get into the nitty-gritty of women's issues. Men, I would encourage you to continue to watch. If your girlfriend or your wife or your daughter or a woman in your life is experiencing what I'm about to share. So women, look, you know the tea. Endometriosis is a condition where when your uterine lining sheds, i.e. you're on your period, that blood can go. Very severe case of this condition. I don't want to call it a disease or a disability, but I do have one of the most severe cases of it.
Yo, these bitches want federal money so they could get disability for their pussy. Yeah, the shit is the wildest shit you ever saw.
So what does that cause? It inhibits your ability to have.
Now, if they tie us in with the money, we would push forward. See, that's the shit that we're talking about with the black woman. If you tie us in with it, tie us in with the WNBA, don't be so lesbian, we will push forward. We will help. Why be selfish?
Have children, it can cause excruciatingly painful period. It can cause pain even when you're not on your cycle, which is why I was not with you. I was not filming and I was not posting because I was doubled over in pain and not on my period, which really sucked. So here's a quick backstory. I have always had painful periods.
That nigga here that nigga loves the backstory.
He sucked. So here's a quick backstory. I have always had painful periods, so much so that I, at some points, would get excused from class, like when I was in high school, because it was just that debilitating. It was
that nigga. He loves to hear that. I'm not no freaky deaky or nothing like that. He loves to know that they are aware of their box at 15, how bad it is. Let's go.
It's difficult to walk, and the pain went from just under my breath.
Because we learn that these women have this box scenario as a child, right? But then they bring it to the young men. Like, ma'am.
To my knees, that whole region was just in excruciating pain. And I just always thought that, if you're on your period, you have cramps. I later found that that is not the case at all. And your period is not supposed to be painful. So ladies, if you are having period cramps, and so much so that it renders you incapable of going to work or going to school or doing anything that you need to do in life, go to your gynecologist and get that checked, because your period is not supposed to be painful.
Like I said, we respect the women who don't have the painful periods. That's who we rock with. We rock with the women. Oh, you got your period? Oh, and you can still hang out with her and don't worry about nothing. We don't deal with all that bent over shit.
In August of 2012, I was diagnosed with stage 4 endometriosis and ovarian cysts. And I know that it can be a little bit confusing that if you have ovarian cysts, you automatically think of PCOS or polycystic ovarian syndrome. But I do not have PCOS. I have endometriosis, and my condition causes cysts to form on my ovaries that are filled with blood. Sorry, it's just the truth. So in 2012, I had a cyst or a couple of cysts to rupture. And I will never forget this. I used to work for a higher ed school. We had a company outing to a baseball game of a minor league baseball team. Sis, I wouldn't stand. As soon as they took attendance, as soon as they handed out food, I was out of there. The kid was like, escape routes, where are the exits? I'm gone. I'm not staying for this. I left. At this point, I was living on my own, but I went to my parents' house just to say hi. And I would never do that because I was actually passing my apartment to get to my parents' house. And when I got there, it felt like Jason took his knife and stabbed me on the right side of my abdomen. On the right side of your abdomen, you have this excruciating pain. You automatically think, oh my God, it's my appendix. We rushed to the hospital because I was doubled over. I couldn't even stand up. I was doubled over in pain and rushed to the hospital. They do a transvaginal ultrasound. And
there we go. That was the answer I was looking for you. I was looking for that answer earlier, that nigga. But let's go. You had it right too.
They see what they think is just one big cyst on my right ovary and then a little bit smaller of a cyst on my left. Fast forward to October 2012, we had scheduled surgery for October 2nd. I will never forget it again, because it was supposed to be an outpatient procedure that should have lasted about 90 minutes. They were supposed to do it laparoscopically. They were going to put a scope through my belly button, go in, lance the cysts, remove all the endometriosis out of my system, and that was going to be done. What I thought was going to be an outpatient procedure turned into a 4-hour surgery. And I'm going to get a little graphic here, so just we grown, you know what I'm saying? Just listen. Because so many cysts had ruptured over the years, my reproductive system had fused to my stomach, which had fused to my intestine, which had fused to my rectum. Not only that.
There you go, guys. Okay. Just remember, this stuff still comes from diet and exercise, being raised the wrong way. Okay. And nobody wishes this stuff on nobody, but at the same time, us men, how we know you dealing with all that, sis? We don't know.
And just listen. Because so many cysts had ruptured over the years, my reproductive system had fused to my stomach, which had fused to my intestine, which had fused to my rectum. Not only that, I had one fibroid tumor just in.
That nigga, she got everything wrong with this box pimping. Let's go.
In there chilling. Like, sis, really? Like, it couldn't just be enough to have like cysts the size of grapefruit and oranges and kiwis. I had to have one, count them, one fibroid tumor. Like, for real? So that was in 2012. And after that, we tried a couple of different types of treatment. One common form is Lupron injections. Lupron is a hormone injection and it puts your body into menopause. I loved it. Okay. I didn't have any of the weird, crazy side effects that some people get with Lupron. Hot flash.
I never heard of Lupron, y'all, because I don't really deal with menopause like that. Because that's when niggas like, man, the box is done by then. Damn, but she took a medicine, Lupron, to induce menopause, and she loved it. Damn. Sheesh. Lupron for menopause. This is crazy. We're going to do that next week. I'm going to check it out. We're going to do something about that next week, okay? Damn, because the reason why I never do menopause, even though it ain't shit, but I just don't want brothers to think that it's an aging pussy. And I could never find the bitches that got the early menopause that still look good so the niggas can understand what I'm saying. But she just gave me a key word, Lupron. I typed it in. I see some bitches. And one of them says menopause at 34. Shit. Man, medical menopause. Shit. Brothers, man, I told y'all, they done fucked this pussy up.
Ashes, definitely. Night sweats, absolutely. And then my cycle stopped, which was a blessing.
Why, class? Why was her cycle stopping a blessing? Why was her cycle stopping a blessing? Please, guys.
Night sweats, absolutely. And then my cycle stopped, which was a blessing.
Why was she happy that her cycle stopped?
I was here for all of it. Here's the deal. I don't mind sweating a little bit if I'm not doubled over in pain. You know what I mean? Some people experience a lot of other symptoms and side effects that resemble menopause, but I loved it. It was once a month. I had to go to my doctor, get the injection, and I was fine.
Oh, shit. Lupron is an injection? Yo, these people will put anything in their bodies, King.
The problem was it wasn't really solving the issue because my cysts came back and they continued to grow. Fast forward to this year. We started Oralissa. I hated it.
Now she's putting a new contaminant in her body called Oralissa. Yo, real talk, single fathers. We had a serious ass class, man. I would love to catch you up. I'm trying to figure how can I start. I don't even know where I started. It's called Fry 'em Friday. I've been cooking, baby. But I think the theme of this story is how Black women have ruined the community that people don't know about, and the children that they are birthing now, 25 years from now, because of all of the mismanagement of their pussy. We will have this weird class of Black people. After that, we are here now where this woman is showing you some of the other evidence of how having a pussy through her baby, having a baby through her pussy could never be a healthy dose. This bitch talking about how she was loving, well, she got a bunch of shit going on with her pussy, but she was loving the fact that the doctors would give her an injection that would bring forth early menopause. From that, we learned about the drug that induces early menopause for women with bad pussy, and we're going to do that next week, but we're going to continue here. So you should be caught up.
Can I tell y'all, Oralissa, first of all, let's just start with the packaging of Oralissa, okay? It's dumb. Like, we can't just get a bottle. Like, why it got... Please hold. So this is the Oralissa packaging.
Oh, I got to get a screenshot of that shit. These bitches, yo, son. Yo, they are crackheads to me. I keep telling y'all, they crackheads to me. Niggas ain't putting no shit in their body like that. Yeah, real talk, single fathers. I'm cooking. Early menopause, baby. Yeah, nigga. Yeah, nigga. Yeah.
It's like hard. You got to push through. It's just stupid. Give me a bottle, sis. Like, why we got to do all of this? Like, you need superhuman strength to get through this. It's ridiculous. The problem with Oralissa is I experienced all of the side effects, okay? I had night sweats. I had hot flashes, and not like just, oh, geez, it's a little warm out here on the veranda. No, the kid was drenched in sweat. Those night sweats, my bed would be drenched.
Ma'am, are you taking any questions? Ma'am, being that you sweat so much, do you think that it would create a sustained musk in between your thighs?
In sweat. There are side effects of suicidal ideation, suicidal attempts.
Whoa! Whoa! See what I tell y'all? They put these drugs in their bodies. Now listen. And remember, why they put drugs in their body, Prince? Because of their pussy. Let's go. Listen to this.
Drenched in sweat. Those night sweats, my bed would be drenched in sweat. There are side effects of suicidal ideation, suicidal attempts.
Whoa!
I did not get suicidal, but the depression was real. The emotional roller coaster was real. I also experienced some weight gain. I also experienced constipation. Like,
what I teach you? What do I teach you? I teach you constipation, and you laugh at me. I teach you bitches don't shit for 4 days, and you laugh at me. I teach you bitch don't shit for 7 days, and you laugh at me. Every time I say something, you niggas laugh at me. It's all good, though. It's all good.
Let me tell you something. These little pink things, they tried to take your girl up out of here. Okay, I hated it, and it was just the worst experience ever. I experienced pain. I'm gonna say 3.5 weeks out of a month. This treatment, it didn't help to subside any of the pain. It didn't reduce the size of the cysts. They're continuing to grow. Currently present tense. My doctor was like, sis, enough with the pills. We're done. They're not doing anything. And it's sad. I mean, there's not much I can do. And
did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that? Did she talking about her pussy? Listen, she's talking about her pussy.
And it's sad. I mean, there's not much I can do. And it's sad. I mean, there's not much I can do. And so that leads me to where we are now. So I have gone to my doctor. I had another ultrasound, both a topical one and a transvaginal one. And these cysts, baby, they are trying to take over. They are trying to reign supreme up in here. I go through bottles, no lie, bottles of extra strength Tylenol. I'm talking 500 milligrams, and I will take 3 or 4.
What I teach you niggas
For them boys, just to try and subside the pain. At the ripe old age of none of your business, I am praying over the decision to have a complete hysterectomy. That is the only curative measure for my severity of endometriosis. There are some women who have kind of mild to moderate endometriosis and they can still have children. They can still lead a wonderful and amazing life, and their pain is kind of contained to their cycle. That
now, this is a slick one right here, guys. Here's a slick one. She said the other women can still have children and lead and have a wonderful life. What does that mean? That means that just women, they don't really care about having children. That's why they get on birth control early and stuff like that. And when they get off birth control, they want to say, hey, I just want to have a good enough pussy to be able to have a children, to have a child. And once women realize, yo, my pussy ain't even good enough for that, that's when you get women like this.
Hysterectomy. That is the only curative measure for my severity of endometriosis. There are some women who have kind of mild to moderate endometriosis and they can still have children. They can still lead a wonderful and amazing life, and their pain is kind of contained to their cycle. That is not my story. Children are not in the picture in any way, shape, or form. Because
now, once she says, now this is important, guys. Once she says children are not in the picture based on her pussy, what does that regulate her down to? Okay? She should be catering and loving a man, and she should be his fuck toy. You have no other value. And if you want to just cater to the man and not be a fuck toy, that works the same. But you should not try to think about anything about your pussy. You should be loving on a man, and a man should love you for everything besides your pussy. See that? But you got bitches like this who buy animals and all this stupid shit. Your value is loving on a man and helping some family or, his family or whatever, because you can't do shit. So don't just be selfish.
Because, again, I'm going to get real personal. The severity of my condition, along with the damage that has been done from years and years of cysts that are weighing down on these teeny tiny little ovaries, is just not happening for the kid. I'm also considering it because I have family members that have passed away from ovarian cancer and cervical cancer, and those concerns are very real for me. Would I love to have a child? Absolutely. I want.
There you go, guys. So, sis, are you taking any questions? Why didn't you have a child at 22? Well, you were systemically programmed not to do that, huh? See that? Because you thought, and that's the thing. Oh, yeah, Real Talk Single Fathers. I also showed the women that's having babies over 35. Because this is what happens. This is the whole program right here. Tricking women into having their 20s for themselves, like this woman right here. Doing all this stuff, not having a baby, and then they end up like this. Or they have a baby at 35, which is definitely not the healthiest baby that you can have. Okay? And now with the new IVF and everything, they're fucking man, it's just ridiculous. Let's go.
Want a chocolate little ashy baby running around here? Absolutely, I would. To have a child? Absolutely, I want a chocolate little ashy baby running around here. Absolutely, I would. Let me tell you something never to tell a woman who said that she cannot have children. You can always adopt. Yeah, sis, I know. Thank you. Gosh, I never would have known that had you not told me that I could adopt a child. Let me help you out. There are women, it's me, I'm women, that want the experience or wanted the experience of carrying their own child.
Why didn't you have a baby at 22? You understand? Because you were programmed. And this is the type of mental instability that we're dealing with in our Black community amongst our sisters. They're hurting for so many different reasons that they would never tell you about, brothers. You understand me? These are some hurt people, man. And they never give men the opportunity to care for them. And that's one of the things that I hate about them.
For those of us that do want children and cannot, don't tell me I can adopt, sis. I know that. The point is that my body is not functioning the way that it was designed to function. Do you get what I'm saying? So don't say that to nobody. Back to the regularly scheduled program. If you are living with this condition, I want to encourage you to stay hopeful. It's tough, but it's not the end of my life, and it's not the end of yours. If you are struggling with this condition, find a gynecologist. If you are in Chicago, there is the Chicago Women's Health Group, which...
There you have it, family. We did our thing. Our work is undeniable. You know, we have cracked the code to why the Black community has failed. It starts at a very, very young age. No man could ever know this, besides the bitch father, And he's in the dust. He don't know no better. He just hope his baby don't get pregnant, So that's what you call running amok around our community, son. And like I said, until anybody get to the bottom of this, how they're taking our babies out by young, our community so fucked up, man. Sometimes even when I go down this rabbit hole, I get a little sad because you can see it. You can see, won't be no Black community, dog. It's over. Fuck what everybody else telling you. We telling you from the biological standpoint. This shit is real. And when you do have a baby, you're limited to one. And who knows how that works out. Never was like that for Black people, yo. So that's where we at, man. Now, I'm going to go live tonight because I want you niggas to come to the other channel, man. Come on, man. I used to date a BBW back in the day. I used to shoot the club up and she never got preggo. Yo, I had something like that too. I had something like that too. She was diagnosed with diabetes and we broke up. She lost weight and got preggo by a Pookie immediately after. That's good for you, King. You don't want that. That bitch let anybody shoot the club up. And after you have a baby and something happen, she get to go get pregnant by another nigga, man. That's all they work on, man. That's all they working with. So at least she was a fun box for you. A lot of bitches that we might have shot the club up with, we was happy they didn't get pregnant. Like, I would never want to have a baby with this bitch, the way she liked to fuck. Oh, most certainly. Most certainly. Matter of fact, we may do some diabetes next week. I like that. Good looking out. We do some diabetes next week, man. See, but I don't really like diabetes because we want the shit that we talk about to be solely on them. See, men get diabetes too. No. The shit you dealing with, bitch, is all on you. And that means that everything you're dealing with is what men love. Meaning you should be cherishing and catering to a man. That's the person who should be caring for you, not no damn doctors. But I'll come back later with some of this immigration shit. I hope, man, because I'm going outside. All right? Good looking out.